I just took a picture.
Our kids are bombarded with social media, which affects the way that they're able to communicate with others. But technology makes life easier and gives us the ability to keep in touch with family and friends who are far away. That being said, how has it affected the way people communicate? In an article in the New York Times, it says, the average young American now spends practically every waking moment, except for the time that they're in school, using a smartphone, computer, television, or other electronic device. According to a new study from the Kaiser Family Foundation, the average young American, ages 8 to 18, spends more than 7.5 hours a day with such devices, compared with less than 6.5 hours 5 years ago when this study was last conducted. And that does not count for the hour and a half youth spend texting and half an hour that they spend talking on their cell phones. It goes on to say, because so many of them are multitasking, say surfing the internet while listening to the radio, they pack in an average of 11 hours of media content into that 7.5 hours. Before the advancement in technology and it being readily available to most people, people would get out of their homes and go visit their friends and neighbors. People would spend their days visiting with those around them. How often today do you see people sitting in a restaurant or walking down the street and they're looking down? They're not even noticing what's going on around them. According to industry research, 61% of virtual world visitors are between the ages of 3 and 11, and 22% of kids ages 6 to 9 already have their own cell phones. A study in the journal Pediatrics, 58% of kids 10 to 15 listed a form of communication as the major reason to go online. The article goes on to say we all realize that this generation is going to have to be tech savvy to be successful. But between social networking, interactive gaming, web communications, instant messaging, and everything, especially texting, that comes with cell phones, it feels like our kids are spending an awful lot of time engaging others through a screen at exactly the same time they're supposed to be learning to form and maintain relationships. When you're making relationships, it is important to be able to watch people's body language, having eye contact, and really listening to what they have to say. When you're face-to-face with someone, you can better evaluate someone's feelings and their passion for something. When you get something emailed or texted to you, you do not know the passion behind the information. For all you know, they're rolling their eyes, mad, tearing up, laughing, or being sarcastic. When people are talking, what you're understanding from what they're saying, 7% is from the words they're actually using. 55% is their nonverbal, their eye contact, their posture, gestures, and facial expressions. And 38% is how you say it: visual, auditory, pitch, volume, emotion, and the detail. Have you ever gotten an email or text from someone and you can't tell what they meant by the text or email? I find that I use a lot of smiley faces when I text because I don't ever want to hurt anyone's feelings and make them think I'm mad. Last week I texted my professor and with a little concern and a little frustration that I was having about a grade that was not being posted. And when he emailed me back, I was kind of irritated with the way he responded to my email, and so I was reading it out loud to my husband, who understood my frustration, and my daughter looks at me and says, "Why are you so frustrated? That doesn't sound so bad." It made me stop right there and really think about where my irritation was coming from and if it's really what was intended. In a recent Wall Street Journal article, author Philip Hensner wrote The Lost Art of the Handwritten Note. He addresses how our increasing reliance on typing and texting is making the handwritten note go the way of the fax machine. He says, the ready communication through electronic means that has replaced the handwritten letter is wonderful, but we have definitely lost something here. And those Skype, email, and text exchanges won't be treasured in a way that my teenage letters, scribbled journals, and postcards have been for years. Do you remember the times when you would receive a personal letter in the mail and how excited it would make you feel? I always love to get them because they make me feel so excited, whether or not it's for a birthday or for Christmas, a thank you note, or just thinking of you. Those are my favorite, personally. Have you ever just stopped in the post office and ripped open the letter because you're so excited that someone sent you something just for you? My grandparents used to write me letters, and I still have them, and they're precious treasures to me. It's not the same with an email. I usually open it up, I read what it has to say, and then after I've taken care of the task, then I usually just delete it. Communication today, although more convenient, leads to less meaningful communication. Texting and emails have their place, yet interpersonal communication is superior for quality and meaningful thought. Handwritten letters are more precious than a quick text. When you have face-to-face communication, your body language and expressions will help reaffirm the message that you are sending and receiving. This is something you will never get through electronic communication. So I encourage everyone to unplug, look up, and make the most out of the relationships that we have.